I feel so alive.
All right, hey everybody. Today we're talking about off-heading openings. Now, there's multiple things that can cause you to have an off-heading opening, and the two things that seem to get the most attention is pack job and body position. And those are, more often than not, those are kind of the most likely culprits for a poor opening and an off-heading opening, especially at the beginning of your skydiving career. When you're packing, maybe you're rolling the tail too much, or you're doing something weird with the lines, maybe the way that you're putting the canopy in the D-bag. There can be lots of things that can cause you to have an off-heading opening related to the way you are packing your canopy. And when it comes to body position, that's something we learn right away in AFF, to arch, to have good body position during opening. And that's going to help you have a more controlled, more on-heading opening. But let's say that you're pretty confident you're doing everything right on your pack job. Maybe you've had a rigger or some more experienced friends watch you pack and help you kind of evaluate if you're doing everything correctly. So let's say you're confident that your off-heading openings are not due to your pack job. And maybe you've had a friend video you while you're deploying your canopy, and you see, with the help of other people, you're debriefing the video looking like, yeah, your body position is pretty good on opening. So let's say that those two things are not the cause of your off-heading openings, but it's still happening. Okay, there's two other things that you can do, simple techniques that I want to cover today that can really help you actively control and actually steer your canopy as it is going through the snivel process and the inflation process, so that you have control on your opening and have a better on-heading, safer opening. So the first one is to actually hold on to, reach up and grab onto your risers and steer your canopy with the risers as the canopy is sniveling and inflating. Now, you should be in the habit of looking forward as your canopy opens and inflates, looking around, scanning the sky for traffic. A lot of people, especially early on, want to look up at the canopy. This is really not a good idea for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you're looking up and you have a hard, snappy, quick opening, it can give you some pretty significant whiplash and hurt your neck. So that's the first reason you don't want to be looking up as your canopy inflates. And the other reason is you're not paying attention to other potential traffic in the sky. So you should be looking around, scanning the sky. If you're already in the habit of doing that and you're reaching up to hold on to your risers, now you're in a much better position to avoid a potential in-air collision under canopy. Now, as far as steering and controlling the canopy during the inflation process, what you want to do is reach up as high as you can, but still keep your hands and your fingertips just below the slinks. The slinks is where the risers connect to the lines, right? Now, the reason I say this is because I have made the mistake of just instinctively, without thinking, reaching up as high as I could. When I first started doing this quite a while back, you feel like the higher you reach, you feel like you have more strength, more control, and more arm movement to control the canopy, which technically is true. But what happens, and I've had this happen a few times and it's very painful, is your canopy is sniveling, right? And the slider is still all the way up at the top of the canopy, at the top of the lines. And you reach up above those slinks and you're holding on to those lines and the risers. You're actually holding above the risers. If you're holding on there, you're holding on to the lines and you're steering. As that canopy inflates, the the slider is going to come slamming down. Especially if you have a quicker opening, that fast opening is going to push that slider down really hard, and those metal rings on the slider, I've had it come down and smash the tips of my fingers or smash into my knuckles. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it can be very, very painful. And also, there's really not a need for you to grab up that high. I think you could also make the argument that if you're grabbing up that high, you have a potential of getting your hands and your fingers kind of inside and between the lines, which is probably not the best idea. So you don't need to grab that high. What you want to do is as high as you can, but still keep your hands and your fingers right below the slinks. That's going to give you a good place to grip onto, a good place to hold, and you're going to be able to still have enough strength and arm movement to steer the canopy. And it's just that. As the canopy is sniveling and inflating, if you feel it turning or going one direction, you just actually steer as if you were holding onto the toggles. You're not holding onto the toggles, you're holding onto the risers and actually steering and controlling your canopy. And you're going to find that you can steer your canopy pretty significantly by doing this. Now, The second thing is as your canopy is inflating during the snivel process, but even more so as it's inflating, what are you doing with the lower half of your body? I want you to think about what's happening with your legs. Your body is a weight under a pendulum. And you know how a pendulum works. You can think about that. If you have a pendulum with a weight underneath it and you move that weight one way or the other, side to side, forward, backward, it's going to adjust the way that pendulum is hanging, and it's going to affect it, especially a canopy. So if you're not actively engaging and controlling your lower body, if your legs are just flailing around, flipping from side to side or forward or back, you are affecting the flight characteristics of that canopy. You are actually affecting the shape and the weight distribution of that pendulum, and it's going to make it not fly straight. So what you want to do is think about actively engaging your core, and from your hips down, think about keeping your legs together, engaging your muscles, and even kind of bringing your knees up just a little bit. You don't need to do a full-on crunch and bring your knees way, way up, but bringing them up just a little bit so that you're consciously, actively thinking about controlling your lower body. And you're going to find that just doing that right there is going to help your openings fly much straighter, because your body is not flipping and flailing around. You're controlling the weight of your body, the mass underneath the canopy, which is a pendulum, and giving it the opportunity to fly straight. So those are two things. It's very simple. Steer the canopy with your risers and actively engage your lower body. Control your body so that you're not flailing around under the canopy, causing it to fly in weird, strange ways. That's it. Those two things. So start trying those out. See how it works. Make sure that you're paying attention to the other traffic in the sky. The first few times, you might want to make sure that you're having a little bit of extra time, maybe pulling a tiny bit higher. But try them out and let me know how these things work for you guys. Leave a comment, leave some feedback so we can know how it's working. And maybe you have other ideas, other tips or other techniques, other things that you're doing to help yourself have a better, more controlled on-heading opening. Please let us know. That's what this is all about. Krāv is all about helping one another learn, be better, be safer, and have more fun in the sky. I hope that's helpful. I hope it's a benefit. Like I said, let me know in the comments how it works, and if you have any other ideas. Hope you guys are having a great summer, enjoying the sky, having a lot of fun with your friends, and hopefully we'll see you out there and get to jump together. Krāv, do more, be better.